Okay, start.
I can fly in the sky. I can whistle and talk. I eat green chili, insects, worms, and grains. I am covered in colorful feathers and have a tail. Who am I?
Birds.
Yes, correct. Good afternoon, one and all present here. Respected Director Madam Mrs. Soma Bhattacharya, our Principal Madam Mrs. Sija Varghese, beloved Administrator Ms. Nupur Matre, and all the teachers. I welcome you all to the Theme Week celebration. Friends, did you hear that sweet sound? Yes, so the topic of the theme week is birds. The students from standard 6th and 7th are going to give us some information about birds. Now, I hand over the program to my friends Shrish and Parnavi.
Good morning, friends. Birds are nature's scavengers and get rid of pests that harm us. They keep food chain in proportion. They help in pollination and growth of new plants. These are birds that eat insects. All of these elements of nature maintain ecological balance. Oh, what a pleasant sound I can hear. Are you able to hear it too? Everyone has to be quiet to feel the nature.
Wow, wasn't that amazing experience? I am refreshed. Are you?
Let us know more about birds today. I welcome you all for our Theme Week celebration. We have gathered here for expressing love for nature, and birds are the symbol of love and peace.
Yes, let's get started with our celebration. In our program, we are going to speak and see the birds who are rare now and the birds which come from other country. Class 6 are going to tell us about extinct bird. Now I call Rajvi Gala from Standard 6A to share some information.
Good morning, I'm not present here. Today I'm going to tell about one of the extinct bird, which is Christmas sandpiper. So let's begin. Theme week topic: extinct bird. My topic: Christmas sandpiper. Presented by Rajvi Gala, Standard 6, Division A, Roll number 4. Origin: the common sandpiper breeds in Europe and Asia. Different species of sandpipers live in different habitats. Though most species are shorebirds, they migrate to Southeast Asia, spending the winter months anywhere between China and Bangladesh. Appearance: the common sandpiper has a brown upper body and a white underside. When it rests, its wingtips reach halfway back to its tail. The bird is a European and Asian species, but is closely related to the similar-looking spotted sandpiper of the Americas. Breeding: female spotted sandpiper sometimes practice on unusual breeding strategy called polyandry, where a female mates with up to 4 males, each of which then cares for a clutch of eggs. In other species of migratory birds, where the male establishes the territory he arrives earlier. Characteristics: sandpipers have long bodies and legs and narrow wings. Most species have a narrow bill, but otherwise the form and length are quite variable. They are small to medium sized birds, measuring 12 to 66 centimeter, 4.7 to 26.0 inch in length. The bills are sensitive, allowing the birds to feel the mud and sand as they probe for food. Habitat: different species of sandpipers live in different habitats. Though most species are shorebirds, The vast majority of species live along beaches, estuaries, tide pools, mudflats, sandbars, and other habitats along the coast. Other species inhabit woodlands, forests, meadows, Arctic tundra, and more. Habitat to which tree? Ecology. The wood sandpiper breeds in subarctic wetlands from the Scottish Highlands across Europe and then east across the Palearctic. They migrate to Africa, Southern Asia, particularly India and Australia. Number of Christmas sandpiper left. The International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) estimates that only 240 to 456 major sandpipers are still alive somewhere in the world. Thank you.
It was a wonderful presentation, Rajvi. Now I call Rutu Matre from Standard 6A.
Good afternoon, respected teachers, principal ma'am, and all my dear friends. My name is Rutu Matre from class 6A. Today, we are going to talk about theme of the week, birds, and my topic is extinct birds, Hawaiian rail. Characteristics. Hawaiian rail has soft brownish black plumage and long bristly throat feathers. The legs, bill, and feet were black. They were also brown in color. It is considered the most endangered of the family Corvidae. Where did it live? It lived in the island of Hawaii. It was common in the subtropical forests of the island until the early 20th century when its decline began. It was a singing bird and its song was last heard in 1987 and now it's extinct. What did it eat? They ate invertebrates such as moths, brine flies, and blonde flies. This is the photos of invertebrates. Invertebrates are the insects which don't have vertebral column. They also eat plant leaves, seed, eggs, and carcasses of seabirds were eaten when they were available. This is the picture of carcasses of seabirds. That means they are dried and died seabirds. Did it fly? It was a flightless bird endemic to the northwest Hawaiian island of Aizen. Etymology, that means origin. The native name for the bird was moho, said to refer to a small bird that crows in the grass. Description. The first collection were of individuals of the lighter form of which the specimens seem to exist. Its extinction was because of habitat loss, and now it is found in the Museum of America or the New York City. Thank you.
It was very nicely done, Rutu. Our next participant is Gargi Sardar.
The presentation.
Good morning to anyone present here. My name is Karki Sadar from grade 6 A. Today I am going to share you some information about crystal moon here. Crystal moon. Moorhen are one of the world's common bird and can be found all over around the globe going by different names. Crystal moorhen is flightless rail found in South Atlantic island of Tristan da Cunha. Moorhen is often seen on ponds and rivers. They are omnivorous, eating from birds, from snails and insects to small fishes and berry seeds. It has a bluish-black plumage and dark brown on neck and head, rounded wings, and strong legs with long fingers. It swims with a jerky motion. Moorhen is also known as a chicken swan because of the chicken-like shape and size of the body. It lives in a flock of 15 to 30 birds outside in mating season. The nest is a basket built on the ground in dense vegetation or located over the water or ground. The nest may be reused by different female birds. Female lays 6 to 10 eggs, hatches after 3 weeks. Most species of moorhen up to the flyer moorhen has an average lifespan of 3 years. Thank you.
Very nice, Gargi. Our next participant is Aditi Shiraskar.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aditi Shiraskar from grade 6A. Today, I'm going to share some information with you all about extinct birds. First, I will tell you what are extinct birds or animals. The species of birds which no longer exist are called extinct birds. Because of the increased human population, birds and animals are becoming extinct. Natural disasters and climate changes are some other causes of birds and animals becoming extinct. For example, the famous dodo and saber-tooth. Today I am going to talk about one of such extinct birds, that is the Tristan moorhen. The Tristan moorhen is an extinct species of flightless rail. It was very similar to the Gulf moorhen of the Gulf Island, located 395 miles to the southeast. The scientific name of Tristan moorhen is Gallinula nassiotis. Where was the bird found? The Tristan moorhen was found on the South Atlantic island of Tristan da Cunha. The Tristan moorhen had black head and neck. It had reddish-brown eyes with a brown back and slate-grey undersides along with some white color under the tail. It had yellow feet and a distinctive red frontal face. It had a shield and beak tipped with yellow. Both the male and female looked alike. Food habits of the Tristan moorhen. They ate water plants, seeds, fruits, grass, insects, snails, worms, and small fish. How did the Tristan moorhen become extinct? The once abundant Tristan moorhen had become rare by 1873, and by the end of the 19th century, it was extinct as a result of hunting predation by introduced species such as rats, cats, and pigs, and habitat destruction by fire. Finally, I want to conclude this presentation by quoting a short poem below. All animal kind, no matter their species, regardless of color, whether feathered or scaled, whether silent or filled with a song, deserves our care and protection. All creatures that live on this fine earth have the right to exist without fear of harm or threat of extinction. Thank you.
Wow, it was a marvelous presentation, Aditi. Our next participant is Arush Kotian.
Good morning, teachers. Good afternoon, principal ma'am, teachers, and all my dear friends. I am Arush Kotian from grade 6A. Today, I am going to tell you about the pink-headed duck. Now, I will tell you the description of the pink-headed duck. It's a large diving duck. It's an ornamental bird because of the unusual plumage. The head and the neck is pink in color. The throat is brown in color and the rest of the body is glossy dark brown in color. The edges of the wings are whitish and speckled reddish with white band on the wings. The weight of the pink-headed duck is around 1.4 kg. Next, I will tell you the distribution of the pink-headed duck. First, it was found in the Gangetic Plains of India, Bangladesh, Brahmaputra, and Myanmar. Next, I will tell you the habitat of pink-headed duck. It lives in densely vegetated freshwater environmental in lowland areas. It also lives in wetlands, puddles, marshes, tall grasslands near water. Next, I will tell you the eggs of the pink-headed duck. It's unique and perfectly rounded eggs. Similarly, looks similarly like a ball. The breeding season is around April. The rounded nests are concealed among tall grasses. It lays around 9 eggs at a time. Next, I will tell you the food of the pink-headed duck. These species have omnivorous diet. They also have aquatic weeds and molecular shells. Next, how did it become extinct? The expansion of British Empire in 19th century, they expanded the land and cleared into a farmland from which the ducks' habitat were changed and some ducks were died. People hunted the ducks to put in their pride collection and hang on their walls.
It is a captive bird lived in the captive bird lived in France and England. 10 of these birds lived for 10 years, but sadly, conditions were not ideal. They never bred. Last captive bird also died in English Park in 1942. It was the last of the species. So, save birds, save environment. Thank you.
Well done, Arush. Now our next participant is Vedant. No, sorry, teacher Prasad Darpe.
I was on mute, sorry. Good morning, my dear friends and teachers. My name is Prasad Darpe from Standard 6th. Today, I will present you information about the extinct bird Columbian grebe. Now, without further ado, let's start. About Columbian grebe and its habitat. The Columbian grebe, also known as Cordyceps andinus by its scientific name, was a grebe found in the Bogota wetlands on the Bogota savanna in the eastern ranges of the Andes of Colombia. It had an almond-shaped head and red eyes. The species was still abundant in Lake Tota in 1945. The species has occasionally been considered a subspecies of a black-necked grebe, also known as Cordyceps nigricollis. It was flightless. This is the scientific classification of Columbian grebe. The kingdom was Animalia. Phylum was Chordata. The class was Aves. The order was Podicipediformes. The family was Podicipedidae. The genus was Cordyceps, and the species was extinct as Cordyceps andinus. This is the extinction chart of the Columbian grebe. In 1945, the IUCN ranked Columbian grebe as least concern, which meant that there need to be no concern about it being extinct or threatened with extinction. In 1950, the IUCN ranked Columbian grebe as conservation dependent. It meant that the species needed conservation and protection to reintroduce it in the wild. In 1955, the IUCN ranked Columbian grebe as near threatened. This meant that the species is almost threatened with extinction but not threatened fully. At this rank, the species needs to have more care and protection. In 1960, it was ranked back to conservation dependent. It meant that trying to protect the species has finally worked. In 1965, it was ranked as vulnerable. This class is the first threatened class, and the IUCN says that the species is likely to be endangered unless the reproduction of the species increases. In 1970, the IUCN ranked it as critically endangered, and thus so have a very less population, which counts as less than 2,000 members of the species and needed to be captured and bred so that they can be reintroduced to the wild. If not, they are very likely to become extinct in some years. In 1975, the Columbian grebe was extirpated. Extirpation means local extinction. In easier words, you can say that it was not found or extinct in some areas and found in others. They needed even more care, or there is a very, very high chance that they will be extinct in a few years. In 1977, they were extinct in the wild, which meant that there were no species left in the wild and they were kept in cages to reproduce and trying to reintroduce them to the wild. If it fails, the species will be extinct or face phyletic extinction before going extinct. In 1981, the last member of the Columbian grebe had died, and thus the species had become extinct even though all the attempts to reintroduce them. The causes of extinction of Columbian grebe. The decline of the Columbian grebe is attributed to wetland drainage, siltation, pesticide pollution, atmospheric pollution, disruption by reed harvesting, hunting, competition, invasive species,
lack of food, and predation of chicks by rainbow trout, also known as Oncorhynchus mitis, or humans. The primary reason was loss of habitat and drainage of wetlands, and siltation resulted in higher concentration of pollutants, thus causing eutrophication across Lake Tota, which destroyed pondweed vegetation and resulted in the formation of a dense monoculture of waterweed, also known as Eloria. These are the reasons we should save birds. The reasons are as follows. They keep the climate stable, oxygenate air, and transform pollutants into nutrients. Birds play an important role in this effective functioning of these systems. As birds are high up in the food chain, they are also good indicators of the general state of our biodiversity. They play an important role in the environment, state of biodiversity, and food chain. How we can save birds? We can save birds by reducing our carbon footprint, reducing use of pesticides, keeping pets, especially cats, inside the house, mark windows since birds can't see them and they think of them as air, recycling trash, joining a conservation group, and raising awareness about birds. This is what we can try and do to save birds. Thank you.
It was really attractive presentation, Prasad. Our next participant is Vedant Ghare.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Myself, Vedant Ghare, going to present a project on Colombian grebe. What is a Colombian grebe? A Colombian grebe was a grebe found on Bogota wetlands on the Bogota savanna in the eastern ranges of Andes of Colombia. It was scientifically known as Podice pandinus. The species was still abundant in the Lake Tota in 1945. The species had occasionally been considered as a subspecies of a bare-necked grebe. It was a flightless bird. Where it was found? It was found on the Bogota wetlands on the Bogota savanna in the eastern ranges of Andes of Colombia. How did they look like? Grebes are small to medium large in size, have low toes, and are excellent swimmers and divers. Although they can run for short distance, they are prone to falling over, since they have their feet placed back on their body. The grebes have narrow wings and some species are reluctant to fly. Indeed, 2 South American species are completely flightless. How did they go extinct? The decline of Colombian grebe is attributed to wetland drainage, siltation, pesticide pollution, disruption by reed harvesting, hunting, competition, and predation of chicks by rainbow trout. The primary reason was loss of habitat. Drainage of wetlands and siltation resulted in higher concentration of pollutants, causing eutrophication across the Lake Tota. This destroyed the open submerged pond with vegetation and resulted in the formation of a dense monoculture of waterweed. By 1968, the species had declined to approximately 300 birds. Only 2 records of this bird were made in 1970s and one seen in 1972, and the last confirmed record from 1977 when 3 birds were seen. Studies in 1981 and 82 failed to find the species, and now it is considered as a extinct bird. Let's do our best to save endangered animals and birds and help maintaining the balance of nature so that humans, other animals, and as well as the birds have the right to live on the earth. Save birds, save nature. Thank you.
It was an amazing presentation. Our next participant is Sharvil. So,
Good afternoon. My name is Shervil Toy and I am going to talk about the spotted green pigeon. Do you know there are many extinct birds in this animal kingdom? One of them is the spotted green pigeon. It is also known as the Liverpool pigeon. It was a species of pigeon which now extinct. John Latham first mentioned and described it in 1783. Now, just look at this picture of the spotted green pigeon. Its length is 12 inches. Its bill is black tipped with pale yellow color. The head and the neck are the darker portions of a plain color. The feathers of the neck are long and narrow. Every feather of the wings are tipped with a spot of very pale cinereous white. The tail is black with a deep ferruginous color at its end. The legs are brownish red and the claws are curved and black. The spotted green pigeon has its relations with the Nicobar pigeon. As compared to the Nicobar pigeon, the spotted green pigeon was a unique extinct taxon. The spotted green pigeon was a hybrid between other species. It was also related with the raffins such as the dodo. Extinction. The spotted green pigeon is now extinct. The species may have disappeared due to overhunting and being preyed upon by introduced animals. It was suggested that the spotted green pigeon may have survived until the 1820s. Thank you.
It was an amazing presentation, Sharbil. Now we'll start with Standard 6B. Our next participant is Swara Bhandari.
Good afternoon, teachers, respected principal ma'am, and my dear friends. I'm Swara Bhandari from grade 6B. As you know, our topic for theme week is extinct bird. So I'm going to present mysterious darling, which is now extinct. As you can see on the screen, there is a picture and it is mysterious darling. Body color, it is black and golden in color. Eyes, it's black and yellow in color. Its beak is brown in color and its legs are also brown in color. If you carefully see the legs of mysterious darling, you will notice that it looks like a thin branch of a tree. Food. Mysterious darling eats insects and fruit. Insects such as flies, beetles, grasshoppers, snails, spiders, worms, and other invertebrates. Fruits such as grapes, apples, and other small fruits. They are found in Cook Islands and islands of Mauritius. As you can see on the screen, there are two pictures. The first picture is of Cook Islands and the second is of Mauritius Islands. These islands are in South Pacific continent. Thank you.
Wow, your slides were very beautiful, Swara. Our next participant is Myra Kakade.
Hello, my dear friends, teachers, and principal ma'am. I am Myra Kakre from Standard 6 Division B, and my theme week presentation topic is the Himalayan quail. I am going to present to you everything you need to know about the Himalayan quail. This is a picture of the Himalayan quail. The Himalayan quail is a medium-sized bird. About their origin and scientific name. The origin. This species was found in northwest part of India in Uttarakhand. It had last been found in 1876. These birds usually arrive in the winter season. Their scientific name. The birds were also known as Ophicia superciliosa. Their class is Aves. They were also known as the mountain quail. Food and family. Their food. They feed on grass, seeds, berries, and insects. They call their fellow bird mates with a quail-like note, like a shrill whistle, to join them and eat. Their family. They belong to the pheasant family, Phasianidae. This species is endangered and is very rare, so it can't be found easily. This is some more information about the Himalayan quail. Save the unique Himalayan quails. Thank you for your patience and I hope you liked my presentation. Have a great day ahead.
It was very colorful presentation, Myra. Our next participant is Kavya Savadi.
Yes. Good afternoon, one and all present here. I am Kavya Pramod Sabdi from grade 6th B. Today I am going to talk about a bird which we cannot see since year 1827. It is Labrador duck, as you can see in the picture. Let's look about its body. Its length is 20 inches and its wingspan is 30 inches, and its seasonality is it is an extinct bird. Its important points are: males are dark overall with white head and neck, black central crown strips, white wings, and old Labrador duck are odd shaped bill. The Labrador duck was an odd sea duck of the northeastern coast of North America. Now let's gain information about its habitat, diet, and behavior. Habitat. During the winter months, the species were found in protected coastal water. Little is known about their summer breeding habitat. Their diet. The odd bill shape suggests the Labrador duck fed on molluscs. Their behavior. Unknown, the bill shape suggests the bird fed underwater on muddy bottoms searching for molluscs. And very curious question in our mind is, why did Labrador duck go extinct? The Labrador duck went extinct due to food storages, little to no shellfishes and crustaceans, which were the main duck's food. Hunting was most likely not the case, as the ducks tasted horrible and would rot quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavya, for giving us such a wonderful information. Now, our next participant is Nitika Shah.
Good morning, one and all present here. My name is Nitika Shah and my topic is crested shell duck. Scientific classification: phylum Chordata, class Aves, family Anatidae, species Dodona cristata. Description: the crested shell duck, also called Dodona cristata, is a species of bird in the family Anatidae. It is a critically endangered bird and believed by some to be extinct. It has not been definitely sighted since 1964. The male crested shell duck has a greenish black crown, longest wing feathers and tail, while the rest of its face, chin, and throat are brownish black and green tuft of feathers protruding from their head. The crested shell duck is about 63 to 71 centimeters long. Distribution and habitat: the species breeds in far eastern Russia, northern North Korea, and northeast China, etc. The habitat of the crested shell duck is believed to be that of wetlands and coastal areas at varying elevations. They also breed in mountainous areas, either away from the water or on volcanic lakes. Ecology and behavior: the diet is primarily made up of small invertebrates, algae, crops, carrion, aquatic vegetation, and mollusks. They travel in groups of up to 10. They nest within tree cavities and burrows. It may be a nocturnal feeder. The bird is also suggested to lay less than 10 eggs, which the female alone incubates. It is believed to breed from May to July. It is believed to be a migratory bird. Thank you.
The presentation was very nice, Nitika. Now I will call upon Arya Kulkarni to share his information.
Good morning, respected principal ma'am, teachers, and all my dear friends. My name is Arya Kulkarni, and today I will share some information about Tahiti rail. So let's begin. Tahiti rail is an extinct species of rail that lived on Tahiti. They were also found in Mehitia. The Tahiti rail was derived from the buff-banded rail. Tahiti rail was usually found in open areas, marshes, and in coconut plantations. The extinction of Tahiti rail was probably due to the predation by humans and introduced cats and rats. It appears to have become extinct sometime after 1844 on Tahiti and after 1940 in Haiti. Here's a picture of Tahiti rail. Characteristics. The Tahiti rail was 9 inches long and its color was unusual for a rail. The underparts, throat and eyebrows were white. The upper parts were black with white dots and bands. The neck was rust colored, the chest was grey, and it had a black band across the lower throat, and the legs were fleshy pink. Food habit. Tahiti rail's diet appears to have consisted mainly of insects and occasionally copra, or also known as coconut meat. Here's a picture of copra. Thank you.
It was very beautiful, Arya. And now I will call Sarvajna.
Hello friends, today I am going to tell you about endangered bird, dodo. Dodo, an endangered flightless bird. It is an extinct bird with a heavy body unable to fly in the air. Height about 1 meter, weight 10 to 18 kg. Brownish grey in color, yellow feet, tail feathers, grey and naked head, black, yellow and green beak. It is found on the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. It is genetically closer to pigeons and eat grains. It became flightless because of the ready availability of abundant food sources and a relative absence of predators on Mauritius. Thank you.
Wow, it was an amazing presentation, Sarvati. Now I will hand over the mic to Shirish from Standard 7.
Thank you, Parnavi. Now my friends from 7th are going to brief you about migratory birds. Now I would like to call my friend Jasween Lamba to take us through her presentation.
A warm good afternoon to everyone. I just call Namba from 7th A is here to declare. A warm good afternoon to everyone. I just call Lamba from Standard 7th A is here to present a presentation. And the topic of my presentation is Greater Flamingo. Common name, Greater Flamingo. Scientific name, Phoenicopterus roseus. Kingdom, Animalia. The greater flamingo is the most widespread and the largest species of the flamingo family. It is found in Africa, the Indian subcontinent, the Middle East, and in southern Europe. Habitat of greater flamingo. The greater flamingo inhabits Africa, the Middle East, southern Europe, and the Indian subcontinent. They occurs in relatively shallow water bodies such as saline lagoons, salt pans, large alkalines, or saline lakes and estuaries. Appearance. The greater flamingo has a wingspan of between 1.4 and 1.7 meters, between 4.5 and 5.5 feet. The greater flamingo's large size allow it to wade into deeper water than the most other flamingos. The flamingo's plumage is pinkish white in color, with red wing covered and black primary and secondary flight feathers. Diet of greater flamingo. The greater flamingo resides in mud flats and shallow coastal lagoons with salt water. Using its feet, the bird steers up the mud, then sucks water through its bills and filter out some small shrimp, seeds, blue and green algae, microscopic organisms, and mollusks. Range. Greater flamingo is a partially migratory, dispersing and at times nomadic species found widely distributed in the shallow brackish or saline lakes of Mediterranean, West, East, and South Africa, and Southwest Asia. Migration. The greater flamingo, also known as Phoenicopterus roseus, migrates to freshwater and estuarine habitats across Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Rajasthan, and some other states. Researchers have also had a reason to suspect some greater flamingo could even be flying into Mumbai from the Middle East and parts of Africa. Behavior of greater flamingo. Flamingos spend most of the day feeding, priming, distributing oil from a gland to at the base of their tail to their feathers for waterproofing, resting and bathing. Breeding birds feed day or night. Flamingos swim rarely and bath in shallow fresh water, submerging the whole body. Lifespan and population of greater flamingo. Lifespan. The typical lifespan is in captivity, according to Basel Zoo, is over 60 years. In the wild, the average lifespan is 30 to 40 years. Population. The overall population is estimated at 5,50,000, 6,80,000 individuals. Wetlands International 2015. The European population is estimated at 45,000, 62,400 pairs, which equates to 89,900, 1,25,000 mature individuals. BirdLife International. Some fun facts about greater flamingo. Flamingo pink color is obtained from its diet. Flamingo's chicks are brown gray with hedged. A flock of flamingos are called a colony, regiment or flamboyance. This was the end of my presentation. I hope you all have liked the presentation. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Very well presented, Jasween. Our next participant is Aryan Razi.
Siberian crane, the migratory bird. Siberian crane, scientific name Grus lecogerulus. Siberian cranes are from family Gruidae, the crane. They are also called Siberian white crane or the snow crane. In Siberian cranes, males and females are literally undistinguishable. Males are slightly larger in size than females. Siberian cranes lay eggs between May and mid-June. Usually 2 eggs are laid, but just one chick is reared successfully. This species breed in 2 distant regions in Arctic tundra of Russia. The western population along the Ob Yakutia and western Siberia. It is a long-distance migrant, and amongst the cranes makes one of the longest migrations. Why do they migrate? They are migratory birds and migrate to all tropical countries with warmer winters. The winters are extremely cold in their native places, Russia and Siberia, so they fly east in search of warmer climate. Hence, these birds travel to several Southeast Asian countries, including India. Where do Siberian cranes migrate? There are 3 populations of Siberian cranes. They all breed in northern Russia and they all migrate thousands of kilometers to spend the winter, respectively in Iran, India, and China. When do Siberian cranes migrate to India? Usually, the Siberian cranes will start flying towards India in mid-October and stay here till March or April. At its peak in 1965, Bharatpur hosted over 200 Siberian cranes. Speciality. Siberian cranes are born with beautiful blue eyes, which changes to a light yellow color after about 6 months. Amongst cranes, its serrated bills makes it unique and enables it to feed on fruit and slippery prey items. Siberian cranes have shrill flute-like voice and the male dances while wanting to attract females to mate. Advantages. The wetlands used by Siberian cranes have global significance for biodiversity. The flyways used by Siberian cranes are shared by at least 27 globally threatened waterbird species. This flyway site network sustains millions of migratory waterbirds along their migration, which span the Asian continent. A fact. The Siberian crane is the world's third most endangered species of crane. It has white plumage identifiable by its red mask and white cap. The mask reaching from behind its eye to its bill. Average length of Siberian crane is 115 to 127 centimeters. Summary. Siberian cranes look very beautiful with their bluish eyes. The flyways used by Siberian cranes are shared by at least 27 globally threatened waterbird species. These birds travel to several Southeast Asian countries, including India. Scientific name of Siberian crane is Grus lecogyrinus. They migrate to other countries because in their hometown there is unbearable cold. Thank you.
It was a colorful performance, Aryan. Now I would like to call Tanaya to show us her presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Today, Ayatana Patwadan is going to present on my theme week topic, which is Amur Falcon. The Amur falcon is a small raptor of the falcon family. It breeds in southeastern Siberia and northern China before migrating in large flocks across India and over the Arabian Sea to winter in southern and East Africa. Its information. Scientific name of Amur falcon is Falco amurensis. Its conservation status is least concern. Its family is known as Falconidae. Its class is Aves. Its kingdom is known as Animalia. Weight and height of Amur falcon. The Amur falcon is a small raptor measuring 25 to 30 cm in length and weighing 100 to 155 grams. The female falcon is slightly larger and weighs 110 to 190 grams. Color of Amur falcon. Its bill is black with a yellowish orange cere, and it has a small beady eyes framed by orange eye rings. The female is similar in color but with a blue barred plumage. The lifespan of Amur falcon. The lifespan of Amur falcon is not yet ascertained, but its sister species. Red-footed falcons has the lifespan of 13.5 years in the wild and up to 18 years in captivity. Thus, Amur falcon lifespan shall be 10 to 13 years in the wild. Here are some pictures of female and male Amur falcon. Migration. Annually in early autumn, these migrant falcons leave their Asian breeding range and travel to parts of northeast India and Bangladesh that act as staging areas for the overland flight across India. Breeding. During migration, they stay in open forests or grasslands, roosting colonially on exposed perches or wires. Their breeding habitat is open wooded country with marshes. The breeding season is May to June and several pairs may nest close together. Abundant nest platforms belonging to birds of prey and even tree hollows are used for nesting. 3 or 4 eggs are laid at 2-day intervals. Both parents take turns to incubate and feed the chicks which hatch after about a month. The young birds leave the nest after about a month. Feeding habits. The Amur falcons feed mainly on insects, including locusts, grasshoppers, beetles, and flying termites, and ants. Small birds and some amphibians may also be taken. Most hunting takes place in the early morning or late evening, with prey usually caught and eaten in flight or taken from the ground. The Amur falcon may sometimes hover while searching for prey. Thank you.
It was wonderful, Tanaya. Now, Jenny Shapipada is going to take us through her presentation.
Good afternoon. My name is Janisha Papada from Standard 7A. I would present a presentation on the great white pelican. Before starting the presentation, I'd like to recite a poem on the great white pelican. A wonderful bird is the pelican whose bill can hold more than his belly can. He can put in his beak food enough for a week. But I'm darned if I can see how in hell he can. A wonderful bird is the pelican. This is a video clip of two beautiful pelicans swimming. The great white pelican, also known as the eastern white pelican, rosy pelican or white pelican, is the bird in the pelican family. It breeds from southern eastern Europe through Asia and Africa in swamps and shallow lakes. Its scientific name is Pelacanus onocrotellus. Its conservation status is the least concern. Its mass varies from 5 to 9 kg. Their order is Pelaginiformes. It belongs to the kingdom of Animalia and its family is Pelacinidae. Looks, the white plumage becomes tinged pink with a yellow patch on the breast and the body is tinged yellowish rosy. It also has a short shaggy crest on the nape. The white covered feathers contrast with the solid black primary and secondary feathers. The legs are yellow flesh to pinkish orange. Eating habits. Great white pelicans are carnivorous, piscivorous. Pelicans mainly eat fish, but they are opportunistic feeders and eat a variety of aquatic animals, including crustaceans, tadpoles, turtles, lizards, frogs, crabs, and lobsters, etc. Sometimes pelicans tag along with other birds, tracking their prey in the water, stealing the fish right from under them. Habitat. These pelican species prefer large, warm, shallow water bodies surrounded by reed beds and dense vegetation. They inhabit freshwater and saline lakes, estuaries, mudflats, creeks, and ponds. Two eggs are usually laid and are incubated by the female for 31 days. Chicks fledge at 75 to 85 days, reaching reproductive maturity when 3 to 4 years old. Their population size is 265 to 295. Their lifespan is 51 years. Their top speed is 65 km per hour. Its weight varies from 5.4 to 15 kg. Their length varies from 140 to 180 centimeter and their wingspan is 226 to 360 centimeter. Abilities. It has the abilities of multiple birds such as long flights and swimming. Its unique characteristic is the gular pouch inside its beak. Its legs are short and strong with fully webbed toes that allow it to propel itself in water and to take off from the surface of the water. They are powerful flyers and often travel in flocks in a V formation to reduce drag for the group. Breeding. The great white pelican species in the temperate areas breed during the spring season. They breed throughout the year in Africa. In India, they breed during February to April. They nest on the ground on a pile of vegetation. Feeding areas may be miles from nesting sites. Also breeds locally on coastal islands. Migration. The great white pelican species in the north are fully migratory, moving southwards for wintering. The rest of the populations are sedentary. After breeding, they may disperse for feeding grounds. The migration routes are only partially known. Migratory populations are found from Eastern Europe to Kazakhstan during the breeding season. Migration in India. This species migrates to India in large number during winters and settles down mainly in Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Gujarat. These three species of the white pelicans are available in Asia, one of which is the great white pelican, normally seen at large lakes and lagoons in India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. Population threats. This species is not under threat, but pelicans elsewhere are particular in India and southeastern Europe due to habitat destruction, flooding, pollution, diseases, and disturbance of breeding sites. Once disturbed, the whole colony will leave and not return. Interesting facts. Pelaginiformes is the family that pelicans belong to, being distinguished from other birds because all four of their toes are webbed, known as totipelamate. The bird's yellow gulla pouch has capacity for 13 liters of liquids or up to 4 kg of fish. This is a gregarious species and even the chicks form into flocks for safety in numbers. A great white pelican does not dive to catch its prey. Instead, it dips its head in unison with other birds to scoop fish into its huge throat pouch. In the breeding season, these birds have a pinkish color with usually yellow on the breast. Thank you.
Very well presented, Janisha. Our next participant is Yashvi.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ashwiredia from grade 7th A. Today, I'm going to present a PowerPoint presentation. My topic for Theme Week is migratory bird blue throat. Common name blue throat, scientific name Lucinia swevesica, kingdom Animalia. The blue throat is a small passerine bird that was formerly classed as a member of the thrush family Turdidae, but now is more generally considered to be an old world flycatcher muscicapitae. Appearance of blue throat. It has small thrush with brown upper parts, striking blue beak with rust brown central spot, black and brown, orange bands across breast, thick white eyebrow and white underparts. Tail is dark with rust brown base, rather swift, deliberate, direct flight on rapidly beating wings. Sound by blue throat. Blue throat's usual call is a hard tuck tuck or chuk chuk, and also a plaintive wheeze. The loud and varied song includes much mimicry of other species, rich and sustained. The song includes bell-like notes such as musical notes, hisses, and trills. Let's together hear and watch the sound of blue throat. Diet of blue throat. Blue throat mainly feeds on insects such as larvae and adults of different beetle species. Green flies, dragonflies, caterpillars, bugs, grasshopper, crickets, and ants. It may consume snails and earthworms, but also seeds, fruits, and berries. Reproduction of blue throat. Its nest is located on the ground, concealed in a shallow hole or in tussocs. The best is a deep cup built by the female with grass, bark, roots, and moss. It is lined with softer materials such as animal hair. Female lays 4 to 7 pale blue or green eggs, speckled with brown. Incubation lasts about 13 to 15 days by a female. Range of blue throat. It is a small brightly colored bird of far north. The blue throat is found in North America, only on the tundra of Alaska and the Yukon Territory. It is common, however, across Europe and Asia, where it is not restricted to tundra habitat. Migration route of blue throats. The reason all the migration of blue throats is that they need a cold climate during the breeding season. However, during winter, this bird migrates to Asia and Indian subcontinent in search of a warmer habitat range. On its passage to Asia and Indian subcontinents, this bird crosses the United Kingdom, covering Scotland, Kent, and Cornwall. Migration in India. In India, blue throat is also known as the lucky Neelkant in Hindi. This little bird travels to India and Maldives for its winter sabbatical from the UK and Alaska. Keoladio National Park of Bharatpur in Rajasthan is one of the best places to spot blue-throat birds coming to India during the winter season for a period of roughly 4 to 6 months. Behavior. It is an insectivore. It forages in low vegetation to catch insects. When on the ground, it turns over the leaves and the soil to expose small invertebrates. It may hawk flying insects too. It runs on the ground as a mouse. It remains hidden cover. It has an erect attitude and may stay motionless for a moment. In winter, we can see it hopping at water's edge among reeds and bushes. Population and lifespan of blue throats. The total population of blue throats around the world is more than 2 million individuals, with all of them spread across Asia, Africa, and North America. The blue throat's average lifespan is 5 years with proper care and a healthy diet. These species can live up to 7 years in capacity. Interesting facts about blue throat. First, the blue throat was formerly classed as a member of the thrush family, but now is more generally considered to be an old world flycatcher. Second, the bird was called the patriot of Russia because of its coloring on the chest. The combination of colors of the Russian flag allowed her to get such a nickname. Third, a group of thrushes are collectively known as a hermitage or a mutation of thrushes. Thank you for watching.
It was a cheerful presentation, Yashvi. Now we are going to start with Class 7B. And the first participant from Class 7B is Mallar Patil.
My name is Mallar Jatin Patel from class 7th B. Today I am going to share some information about the gadwall bird. Let's get a slight look on the image of the gadwall bird. Their favorite food is aquatic vegetation. The females and the youngs eat the insects and small animals present in the shallow water region. In short, we can say males are herbivorous. The youngs and females are omnivorous. The gadwall birds are generally spotted in the season of winter in North and Central India. They are spotted usually near shallow water regions. They travel all the way from Iceland to Russia and from Russia to India. The gadwall birds are most notably found in Bhopal in India. What does the government do for the gadwall bird? The government of India advises the locals staying near the shallow water region to not pollute it. This is so that they could see the gadwall bird nicely and the city will be clean and tidy. Thank you for watching.
It was a beautiful presentation, Mallar. Our next participant is Mrunmayee.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mrunmayee from class 7B, and today I am going to be presenting a presentation on black crowned night heron, which is a migratory bird. Black crowned night herons are common in wetlands across North America. Black crowned night herons are small herons with rather squat, thick proportions. They have thick necks, large flat heads, and heavy pointed bills. Their legs are short and in flight barely reach the end of their tail. The wings are broad and rounded. They begin migration in September or October. Massachusetts to Florida and the Caribbean, or from Alberta to Mexico and Cuba. They mostly eat fish, but also squid, crustaceans, aquatic insects, frogs, snakes, clams, mussels, rodents, and carrion. They also sometimes eat eggs and young birds. Black-crowned night herons mature around 3 years of age. They nest in colonies made up of sticks placed in the branches of trees or on the ground if the area is sheltered from predators like an island or beds of reeds. The male gives out a hissing sound to attract females. Thank you.
It was interesting, Mrunmayee. Our next participant is Saisha.
Welcome and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saisha Naik and I am from class 7th B. This bird's name is black-crowned night heron. It originates from the wetlands across North America, including salt marshes, streams, freshwater marshes, rivers, swamps, lakes, etc. Black-crowned night herons are small herons with rather squat, thick proportions. They have thick necks, large, flat heads, and heavy pointed bills. The legs are short and in flight barely reach the end of the tail. The wings are broad and rounded. Black-crowned night herons get their name due to the fact that they hunt at night and early morning, then rest during the day. The northern black-crowned heron populations are migratory, moving southwards for wintering. The European population moves to Africa and North America. Populations move to Central and South America. The northward movement for breeding occurs from March to May. Yes, black-crowned night herons in the northern part of their range are typically migratory. Food. Black-crowned night herons are opportunistic feeders that eat many kinds, mostly fish, aquatic insects, etc. Sometimes specializes on eggs and young birds and can cause problems in turn colonies. The male chooses a nest site in a tree or in cattails, usually in a habitat safe from predators, such as on an island, in a swamp, or over water. Black-crowned night herons nest colonially, often with a dozen nests in a single tree, and then advertises for a female. Colonies sometimes last for 50 years or more. Herons are protected under the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, which is enforced by the US Fish and Wildlife Service. The birds defecate out of their nest, leaving white stains on driveways or yards underneath. Black-crowned night herons are common herons in wetlands across North America. You just may have to look a little harder than you do for most herons. Thank you for your attention.
It was very informative, Saisha. Our next participant is Dhruv Shah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dhruv Shah and I am from Standard 7. My topic is on cuckoo. Cuckoo is a bird of open land. It is grayish or brown in color with broad black bearing on its underparts. Migration season. Cuckoo is a summer migrate to Europe and Asia and winter in Africa. Migration location. It arrives in Europe in April and leaves in September. Characteristics. Beaks are small and round, their eyes are yellow iris. The iris is light brown to reddish. Food habits and nesting habits. Food Cuckoo feed primarily on insect species. Their favorite food is caterpillar. They lay one egg per nest. Government initiatives. A few years ago, bird watchers set out to test the truth behind whether the bird does signal the coming of monsoon. We began a monitoring process, collecting data around bird signaling and other habits. This is beginning document on ebird.org and illegal initiatives for bird watchers are all around the world. The cuckoo are generally medium-sized, slender bird. The majority of species are tropical. Some species are migratory. The cuckoo feed on insect larvae, and variety of other animals, as well as fruits. In India, cuckoos are scared of Mahadeva, the god of design and longing. Whether in Japan, the cuckoo are symbolize unrequired love. Thank you.
Very well done, Dhruv Shah. Our next participant is Devika.
Good afternoon, one and all present here. I am Devika here from grade 7. Today, I will be giving you some information about the black-crowned night heron. These are the topics we will be covering in this presentation. The black-crowned night heron belongs to the order Pelicaniformes, the family Aridae, and the genus Nycticoras. In Marathi, it is known as Ratbagla, in Dutch as quack, in Italian as Niticora, and in Afrikaans as Gaboni nagre. It is found in parts of Washington, Saskatchewan, Canada, Minnesota, New Brunswick, Canada south to southern South America, United States, etc. The black-crowned night heron has a plain bold black with a small white patch. Its eyes are large, bright red with black pupils. Its bill is straight, thick, and stout. Its throat is plain creamy white in color. It has plumes which emerge during breeding plumage. Its back is plain black in color. Its tail is grey, short, and stubby and may not be visible on a perched bird. Its feathers are rounded and medium gray. Its legs are yellow and long. The black-crowned night heron breeds in colonies of 20 to several thousands. The male starts building the nest and the female completes it with the twigs brought by the male. The nests are spaced so that the birds are out of beak range. The females usually lay one clutch of eggs, that is 3 to 5 eggs in a season. The females may also lay another clutch. The chicks usually hatch in 2-day intervals. After 6 to 7 weeks, the chicks are ready to leave the nest.
The parents always greet the chicks. If the parents fail to greet the chicks sense that it's an attack and attack the parents. More information. Its weight is 727 to 1014 grams. Its height is about 65 centimeters, length 58 to 66 centimeters, wingspan 115 to 118 centimeters. Its lifespan is up to 25 years. Its diet mainly comprises of frogs, fish, and insects, small mammals, young birds, flies, dragonflies, spiders, mollusks, and worms also make up its diet. Thank you. Have a nice day.
It was a beautiful presentation, Devika. Now, I request our Honorable Principal Ma'am to say a few words about today's program.
Good afternoon, dear students. I hope I'm audible. Yes. So through the week, you had the theme week in the, that is from Monday to Friday today. And you got to know about the various types of birds. Yes, the birds which you had not heard about. You learned many new things, many new characteristics of these birds. Yes, students. And we also need to be aware that these birds or all the other animals for that matter are all important for our existence. We human beings, if we think that we can exist alone and we will be able to do everything, it is not correct. To maintain the right balance in the environment, to have the right ecological balance, we need the animals, we need the birds, we need the plants, we need the insects, everything. From the smallest of the insects to the biggest of the animals, each animal is very important for our survival. And this is very important for us to understand that. Now that you are more aware, that is what we wanted. You should become aware of these birds which are there around us. And as I said before also in the previous session, one of the birds which maybe in my younger days, I used to see that birds in large amounts around us. That is the common house sparrow. And the population of that sparrow is becoming lesser and lesser day by days. It is on the verge of extinction. And we all should take measures to conserve this bird, that is the house sparrow. Okay, and now you all can there is no positive information as of now. You can search and find out ways and means in which your small ways you can lead to the conservation of this particular bird. Okay, now another thing which I want to tell you is we can learn a lot of things from these birds, many life lessons, and the most important amongst these is the eagle. Someone in the last session also told me that January 1st is celebrated as the Save the Eagle Day. And from the eagle, we get to learn a lot of things. Eagle is a bird which flies high. It doesn't fly with the other birds. It flies alone and flies high. If it is flying, it flies only along with the eagles. So the lesson that we learn is you should be very aware of the company that you keep, because you become what the company you keep. Okay, then you should have a very strong vision and focus. If a eagle desires to its prey, and even if it is 5 kilometers away from it, it will ensure that it reaches the prey and it has a vision and it will try to get it as soon as possible. Okay, eagle is fearless. It flies to a great height, it flies over the clouds, and it is not afraid of any other bigger birds also. Okay, eagles are tenacious. They love the storm. They love to meet challenges. And the more the challenges, that they take those challenges as opportunities and they try to overcome those challenges and come out victorious. That should be what we should also be. Whatever, on a daily basis, we come across certain things and we start crying, cribbing that this should not be like this should be like this. No, we should have that fighting attitude and take it as a challenge and do it. That should be the spirit. Okay. And the eagles, another thing that you observe about the eagles is they don't eat dead meat or dead animals. They don't rely on things which are left by their by any other animals. They catch their prey live. So they believe in their own hard work and try to feed themselves. Okay. Then eagles, another thing that you see is the younger eagles, what the mother eagle does, she, if any leaves or feathers are there in the nest, it tries to remove everything and makes the baby eagle very restless, uncomfortable. And in the process, the baby eagle comes out, tries to fly, and within a short time, it is able to fly in the air. That you will see even in the small birds. The small birds also, if you anytime observe these small birds, they try to feed the younger birds, and with the food, they try to bring out that bird from the nest. And in the process of flying, they fall, they rise, they fall and rise, and they start flying. So that is how it should be. Every time you do something, you know, you may not be successful in the first attempt. You may fall, but be ready for that. And take it as a challenge, move forward. Another very important characteristic that you see in an eagle is over the period of time, the eagle, the feathers of the eagle becomes weak. And even its claws, its beak, it becomes very weak. So what the eagle does, it goes to a remote location high in the mountain. It tries to remove all its old feathers. It breaks its beak, it breaks its claws, and in the process it bleeds a lot. Then it stays in that secluded place, becomes stronger, and again comes back into the air. That is how we should be. That whatever things we have with us, and you think that those qualities in you are obstructing you in any way, try to shed that out, try to leave it, come out stronger with new qualities which will help you to survive in the environment, in the new surroundings. Okay, children, these are certain things. I think you will take a lesson from that. Learn from the surroundings, do bird watching. Whenever you have time, instead of being in the media, be out, watch nature, watch the birds, watch the plants, and you will get to learn a lot from them. Okay. Now I'll just tell you the results of your declamation. For standard 6, the first prize goes to Swara Khate, second prize to Nitika Shah, third prize to Krish Iyer. From 7th standard, the first prize goes to Dedia Yashvi, second prize to Nupur Singhala, and third prize to Seisha Naik. Congratulations to all the winners. Okay, children? But that should not be the limiting factor. As I say always, it is participating in an event which is more important than winning. In a competition, you will have winners and you will have losers, which is there. But take part, get that confidence, which will lead you further. Thank you, children.
Thank you, ma'am. I, on behalf of BPS family, thank all the participants for sharing with us their excellent coverage about extinct and migratory birds. I also thank our respected director madam, our principal madam, our administrator madam, and all our teachers. Thank you. Have a great day.